so now we're ready to look at the geological time scale. So what we have done is we've found rocks from all over the world, and we have relatively dated them by saying that this rock is the oldest, and then this rock which was on top of it is a little bit younger, and then this one is a little bit younger. So we have compared rocks from all around the world, and we have dated them relatively. Then what we did was we looked for radioactive substances in those rocks, and then we were able to identify them numerically. So we were able to give an age to each of those rocks. And so when we put this all together, we get the geological time scale. And so this time scale is going to give us the history of the Earth from its inception about 4.5 billion years ago until the present. So notice how the geological time scale is set up. So the longest periods of time are going to be called eons. And you'll notice that there are 4 major eons in Earth's history. So the very first one, the one that's down there at the bottom, is going to be called the Hadrian eon. Then the one above it is going to be called the Archean eon. And then the one above that is then going to be called the Proterozoic eon. And then above that is going to be the Phanerozoic eon. Now you'll notice that the Phanerozoic eon is only 540 million years. So the bulk of Earth's history, roughly 4 billion years, is going to be in those other eons that are there at the bottom. And you notice that it doesn't seem like much is happening during those time periods, but there really was. And we'll see that in our next lesson when we do the geological and biological history of the Earth. Okay, then the next category, so once you've got everything marked into eons, let's subdivide eons then into eras. And you will notice that the Phanerozoic is divided up into the Paleozoic era, the Mesozoic era, and then the Cenozoic era. So roughly speaking, we could say that the Paleozoic era is the age of fish, and it's the age of amphibians. Okay, then we could say that the Mesozoic era is the age of reptiles and dinosaurs, and then we can roughly say that the Cenozoic is going to be the age of mammals. Okay, then we could take the eras and subdivide them. So you can see that the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic are further subdivided into periods. And so the first period in the Paleozoic era is going to be the Cambrian. So the Cambrian period, which was then followed by the Ordovician period, and then followed by the Silurian, and then followed by the Devonian. Well, for those of us here in southern Missouri, in North America, we're very much interested in the Ordovician, because the Ordovician is going to be the age of the rocks down in Branson, Missouri. We're also going to be very interested in the Mississippian and Pennsylvanian eras, which is going to be called the Carboniferous periods. And those periods represent what was happening in Springfield, Missouri. So we'll see this in our next lesson. So what this chart shows is what were some things happening on the biological scale, and in terms of animals and in terms of plants. And then it also talks about what was happening in the oceans, and then what was happening geologically. So if you want to look at some of those captions, that's kind of a preview of what we're going to talk about in our next lesson. Okay, it is time to take a quiz. So I'll see you in just a moment.